Yeah. Hey, you can be your own brain, take the time while you're learning. Don't teach you how to compound it while you're learning. It's that new type of money. Hey, you can be your own brain, take the time while you're learning. Don't teach you how to compound type of money. Hey, first of all, let me tell you about the being good for charity. Probably the one that educate and impact at least 2 million lives. 4 years later, and we still on the share. We talking 2 million families, shifting their perspectives mentally and broke. To me, money is your problem. It's simple. Don't make it challenging. You gotta the value for coming up with strategy. I understand it's easy because focus is something you have to do. It ain't no better feeling than setting your own salary. Hey, you can take the time. You gotta make that thing your mind. You ain't everything. That thing to you simple and proper and let you know you were created, government, made, and prosper. We're just trying to help somebody. We ain't trying to, but it's kind of hard to believe if you still ain't interest. Put your money interest, show you how to make the money, have how you perceive. You know, definition, really.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Tasha M. Dyer, the Trade Whisperer, creator of the BYOB Cash Out Strategy. Good morning, and I want to officially welcome all of you all to our BYOB Trading Academy. This is a live call. So as you log in this morning, drop it in the chat. Let me know where you're calling in from. Along with those affirmations, ladies and gentlemen, drop it in the chat. Let me know where you're calling in from. Along with those affirmations, we're going to get this call started here in just a moment. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to all of you all. So, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, I want to officially welcome all of you all once again. I see you all logging on. I see you all chiming in. And I definitely just want to make sure that, you guys are understanding what's happening, what's going on, where we are, the things that are taking place within the movement, and of course our weekly outlook, which is ultimately why we are here, right? That's the whole purpose behind why we are here today. So now, as you log on, I want to kind of gear your mind to understanding that we took some trades yesterday. We analyzed and we took some trades. And so I want to start out this morning, asking, did you all take profit? So as you drop it in the chat, if you took profit, let me get a 777 as well as those affirmations. And if you have a better understanding, let me get a 555 if you at least monitored something. So yes, I see you, United Kingdom. Good morning. Minnesota, Baltimore. Good morning, Virginia, West Palm Beach. I got a 555, right? So good morning, good morning, good morning. All right, so we got one person that watched. Do we have anybody else? Definitely know that I know where we started the call. Some of you guys are logging on still. So my question as you log in, there we go. My question is, as I welcome you to the call, how did you all do? Like, how did you all, as you look at the trade, as you see what took place, how did you all do with that trade, right? Do we have understanding? Did we actually mark our charts marked up? What I need to know. Did you mark your charts up? That's what I need to know. Is your charts marked up? And I am recording today because I had that question yesterday. So I'm definitely recording today for you all. So you guys can go back and get some understanding. So there we go. I love it. I love it. All right. So let's go ahead and dive in and get started. First is the mindset. I am an educated BYOB master trader, anointed for wealth, right? Mindset, mindset, mindset. I see many affirmations: patience, patience, profit, market your best friend. You want to operate in that mindset. And so where we are right now is understanding that we have a weekly setup. So this call, for you guys to understand, is this call is designed to really put you in a mindset and in a mind frame of analysis and profit. Analysis and profit. It's not to teach you how to take a trade. That's why you have to be there in the morning. You have to show up to the 5:30 classes as well. But this class is designed to really help you analyze so you can mark your charts up and you can watch for entry, watch for potential trades, do your setups, watch the market move. That's where we begin. And where we begin each and every single day. Now, you notice I'm at BYOB Trading Academy. Where we begin is our news. Okay, so I'm going to come to our news and we're going to start with the news, and we're going to play the news first. Now, when this is dropped in the chat, are you guys watching this? Yes or no? When this gets dropped in the Telegram, in the Facebook page, when this is posted, are you all watching it? I need to know. Yes, 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 yes. Is it starting to make sense to you? Is this information, now I don't want a yes again. Let me get a 777 if it's starting to make sense. Is this starting to make sense? Very helpful. Good. 7. Yes. Okay. So I say that because you want to keep pressed to what's happening. So I'm gonna go ahead and play this for you.
Live from the world's capital markets, here are the latest financial headlines brought to you by BYOB Trading Academy.
Hello, and welcome to Tuesday's Daily Financial Digest.
The Bank of England needs to guard against second-round inflationary effects, which could see inflation bottom out at 4 or 5%, rather than return to its 2% target, BOE chief economist 𝐥𝐤𝐤 said. European markets were mixed, with investors following US debt ceiling negotiations, Turkish elections, and a higher forecast for EU inflation this year. World stocks rose on cautious optimism ahead of this week's deliberations over the US $31.4 trillion debt ceiling, a raft of economic data, and a bevy of central bankers lined up to hint about whether further rate hikes await. The dollar-yen pair saw a minor rise of 0.2% in the last session. The ultimate oscillator's positive signal is in line with the overall technical analysis. The Bitcoin-dollar pair exploded 1.5% in the last session. The CCI is giving a positive signal. The gold rose 0.3% against the dollar in the last trading session. The MACD is giving a negative signal, going against our overall technical analysis. The oil-dollar pair skyrocketed 1.8% in the last session. The CCI is giving a positive signal. The Eurozone's ECOFIN meeting will be released at 0700 hours GMT. The UK's ILO unemployment rate at 0600 hours GMT. Japan's gross domestic product at 2350 GMT. The UK's claimant count change will be released at 0600 hours GMT. The US industrial production at 1315 GMT. Australia's RBA meeting minutes at 0130 GMT.
We hope that you've enjoyed Tuesday's financial report. On behalf of all of us here, we wish you a productive trading day. Be sure to join us tomorrow morning for the latest news and events from the financial markets.
All right, awesome. And I want you to kind of pick up on something. I should have put the timestamp on there because some of you might have caught it and some of you might have not. Did you hear where it said it's going against our technical analysis? Did you hear that? Did you all hear that part where it said it's going against our technical analysis? Yes or no? Listening to that. So you did hear it, okay? Now, I want you to understand how significant that is, because we'll mark up the charts, but how often do I say, you know, this is our analysis, but you need to wait until you get confirmation to take the trade. Just because something says this is what we see, we don't just take the trade because we believe that's what it's going to do. So we could have all the analysis in the world, and there are still factors in the market that create a shift in a different direction. So it said it's going against our technical analysis. So that's real. That does happen. And so your responsibility is to not take a trade until it's time, until you see accurate entry, until you see it with your eyes, right? We don't force anything. And this is that patient profit. I promise you, yes, that is the key. You are absolutely right. And I promise you, you're going to spend more time in patience if you take the time to be patient and take the trade, you know, then what's going to happen is you'll end up with profit. You know, you'll end up in profit. You can take 1 or 2 trades a week. You could take 10 trades a day, whatever it is, but don't force anything, right? Do not force anything. So you want to make sure that that's taking place. So when we look at our signals, okay, and that's really what this is. And so when we begin to look, I want to get down to the GBP/USD, and it's given that negative signal. We're going to talk about this because this is a currency that we decided to follow and look at some analysis each and every single day. But before we do that, I want to jump over here to our forexfactory.com, our calendar, and also on our main website, okay? Our BYOB Movement Worldwide site is our main website. Now, you can get to everything from this site, right? BYOB Movement is about economic empowerment, which means that we offer more than just trading. So we have multiple websites, but you can get to everything from here, right? Of trading view, trading chart to help get you started is here. And we have an economic calendar here for you as well. So you should always check more than one, but we wanted to make sure you had resources at your hand, because often we're like, go to this website, go here, go do this, right? Go to this site, go here. And ultimately we end up with multiple sites. But if you just remember BYOB Movement Worldwide, you'll be able to get to whatever site you need, whatever you need. Okay, so here's the economic calendar for you. If you're an affiliate or a customer, even here, right? Our network of websites is here. All of that is right here for you. So even if you're trying to get to the Trading Academy, you need the credit restoration, the real estate, the Sunday night training for our university, when he says, hey, join us in our university, you know, all of this is right here. So everything that you need is right here on our website. That's really going to guide you to where you go, because I know we have multiple sites. Now, I'm going to jump to Forex Factory on our Trading Academy, right? This daily news is there. But as I just mentioned, I'm going to jump to, you know, our Forex Factory. And as we look, we already know this is a heavy news week. So today is like a follow-up from yesterday, right? That's really what today is. And being that it's a follow-up from yesterday, we analyzed all of this. So we kind of went over there. It's quite a bit of, I mean, there's a lot of red that's taking place. And what you kind of want to begin to see is that, you know, this is what the forecast was. This is a significant difference, okay? So this is a significant difference, all right? And if I look, let's come to our US dollar. How did that impact our dollar? Well, you can see that it kind of pulled back some. It weakened it some. And so that's obviously, what am I clicking everything what I want? But you can see the dollar weakened some, and that's what the news does. The news is going to impact GBP at the same time, turn around and Theirs wasn't as huge of a difference, but there was a difference, you know. So this is what it actually was. So anytime you see red, that red really gives you indication that the news, it didn't go in our favor. It didn't go in their favor. Let me say their favor. That sort of thing. So we had CAD had some news this morning. I do have 2 CAD pairs that we'll add if we have time to add them today. Just, you know, kind of looking at what took place. So CAD had some news that kind of fluctuated. That'll impact the oil as well, you know, quite a bit tomorrow on the 18th. And then of course on the 19th, you got Fed Powell speaks and, you know, things like that. So quite a bit taking place, quite a bit happening. And, you know, you want to pay attention to all of these things that are going on. So what I want to do is I want to jump in over here and let's go ahead and get to this GBP/USD. All right. So as we look, all right, what did we see on our GBP/USD? So when we look at the GBP/USD, all right, when we see this, you're seeing that we have some support and resistance. We see it's still giving us a negative signal. And look, this going against our overall technical analysis. Now, this is something we actually talked about. You, me, yesterday, all of us. This is something that we actually discussed, right? This is something that we actually looked at. So when I come over here and we look back at this, let's talk about, let's jump back up really quickly because I do want to recap for you guys. So, and of course, as we look at what's been happening, we already know that we were excited about finally breaking through here and beginning this move up. So we also identified these zones from yesterday, and it was given a negative signal. But we also know that this resistance had also become support. So it looks like it rejected, which it did push through there. Now, once again, I'm on my weekly. So it looked like we had a rejection. And then of course, now it look like it's trying to buy back and go back up there. Now let's get to my daily. When I come to my daily, you can see that this this resistance area did hold. So it pushed through there a little bit, but we talk about that retest. Once again, we wait. It's still in the channel. It's still in the channel. So our technical analysis, right? It pushed down, it did not break yet, and it's trying to push back up, which is why when we looked at this yesterday, remember I was like, I'm not really enthused about jumping in a trade on GBP/USD. The trend line that's there, it pushed back down, right? Kind of respected that. So I didn't get excited about this movement and sitting there watching it. So that didn't excite me. Right. And that's kind of what I share with you all. And you can see how it kind of rejected off here, even though it kind of pulled back up. And because of everything that was going on, you could see it looked like we had some retests and somebody might have got excited about coming through. But then if I was to, let's do it. And if you guys got questions while we go through this, ask your questions, please. I'm going to clone this line so they have the same angle. We're going to put this kind of in the middle of this channel. Once again, I hope this is helping somebody, right? It looked like a streak. And when it's in the middle of the channel, you can see that it really didn't break through that midpoint on the channel, right? You guys see that? It didn't break it. It didn't break it at all. And so it did push past this. It looked like we could have a retest, but it's still in the middle of the channel. We just trained on that last week. So you can see that this is very important. Now, once again, I can't tell you why, because some people are like, well, why does it do that? Well, why does this happen? Well, I don't know why. I just know what it does. You know, the market, and it's all about buyers and sellers. If you really want to get down and get technical and really get, it's about buyers and sellers and momentum. And you notice that it kind of will hang out at a touch the top. And when the momentum starts lagging off, you know, it might only hit the middle of that channel. Don't want to spend too much time there. But it also respected the bottom of this trend line, right? It respected the trend line. That's what it did. And so ultimately, that's what we are. So it's given negative vibes, right? That's what it said. It's given a negative signal. But what we're going to do is we're going to adjust these. Where am I going to get my numbers from? Where am I going to get my numbers from? 1, 2, 4, 3, 4. Where am I getting my numbers from? Oh no, wait, hold on. I'm supposed to be looking at my resistance and I'm looking at the support. 1, 2, 4, 6, 2. Yes, the daily news, absolutely. 1, 2, 4, 7, 3. Right? So this is where our resistance line has kind of moved to, which is now below. And if I put this on here, let's do the support. 1, 2, 4, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 4, 4, 3. So it kind of tightened, but we're up here. So 1, 2, 4, yeah, it kind of tightened. I was like, let me verify these numbers. But we're up here, so it's not with our technical analysis, but it's kind of telling us where the market is. So what I want to see is my pivots are not there. So I'll add some pivots. Oops. I'll add some pivots if my computer works with me, so we can just kind of look at where we are, right? We're right there at that pivot point. I'm on my 4 hour. We're right in that midpoint of where they say the market is right now. So I'm not that enthused to just jump and kind of wait, because honestly, I feel like this market should be still increasing, right? It should be, it already broke past this level. We're here. And once it finally breaks, you see it had the same issue. Let me hide the pivot so you can see with clarity. We had the same thing here. Look at that nice drop. And so there's an expectation that but look at how long it took to get through there, right? Look at how long it took to get through there. And then it just dropped and then it kind of stayed there and pushed. So when we do break through, there's nothing here that's going to stop it. There's nothing on the other side when it finally breaks through. And look at that movement. And so if I'm on my daily, that was some nice movement over 1, 2, 3 days, the course of 3 days. So what I'm seeing is that when we look over here and we finally get past this area, so I'm gonna look at this, I'm gonna do this, right? Change this color, it's a little dark. So when we look at this and you see this area to the left, that we should, when it finally breaks through here and it comes through and it breaks through there, that's going to be some nice movement. And if I look at my 4 hour over there, okay, when we talk about that happening over 3 days, I want you to see it, how this broke down. And this is a breakout. I typically don't do breakouts. Let's see what it looked like. I would have waited, but hey, it's looking like when it breaks out of there, because there's nothing, it's going to be going. And so this did not retest. It did not retest. It tried to a little bit here, but that was just whoosh. And when it broke, it broke. And let me come back up, because I like to wait on the retest. That's just me being transparent. We can come on over a little bit. There was a lot of congestion back here, but that was back in 20. We already know what happened in 1920. So the market was trying to get reestablished and restabilized during that time. So we had retests going up. But if I look before that, it kind of did the same thing. So this is a zone where we might see a breakout, right? This is a zone where we might see it just push and keep going. So, and if it kind of aligns with everything we see in the news right now. All right, just so you know, because it did not retest. So I just want to kind of put that out there. So this is where you make that decision. Hey, I might just go trade something else, or because you got to stick to your trading strategy, like your trading style, right? So you gotta stick to your trading style, right? And so you want to kind of pay attention. Once we break through here, it's very possible the market will just kind of jump up, right? To kind of get that momentum going back. Questions, comments, or testimonies? And that's on the GBP USD as we're following it and helping you see, right? Questions, comments, or testimonies, anybody? All right, none? Great. None. Okay, let's jump over. So before we add something new, let's jump over here to our Euro NZD. Did anybody take it? Anybody take the trade? That was at least an 80 something pip move yesterday. I took the trade. Did anybody take the trade? 777. Okay, good. How'd you do? Profit. Awesome. All right. Anybody else take the trade? Do you have a stop loss? I mean, not a stop loss. Do you have a trade? Are you still in a trade? Did you do a trailing stop loss? You know, talk to me. What did we do? Are you still taking it? Or are you waiting on this to, did you take profit in the zone? And you waiting on it to come down some more? So I'll wait on that. I know sometimes you're in trade with a trailing stop. That's exactly what I'm doing. So this is that zone area where we kind of set up yesterday, right? So this is that zone area that we set up yesterday. And we talked about this and we talked about where it was. So where were we at yesterday? We were right here yesterday. And so we knew that the market wasn't going to break through here. And we talked about this pulling down. But I also want you to pay attention. All right. We drew this on here, but I just ended up pulling it over a little bit. But we did have this area on here. Like, so yesterday, you might not remember it being pulled all the way over, but we identified this being a heavy rejection area, right? Bam, 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 bam. So this was a heavy rejection area. So understanding that this is a heavy rejection area, you can even see where it broke through and pulled back down. There is an expectation for the market to stall right here. Same thing. Even if it pulls back up and pulls back down, pulls back up and pulls back down. So that's why, like he said, that trailing stop loss, that's why that's really important to have. So where we are, but you can see the market kind of rejecting is, but it's also respecting this trend line. Okay. So even if it pulls up and touches it a little bit, or breaks through like it kind of did over here, right? Through this support resistance line, even if it does that, the reality is it's respecting. You can see how it rejected, and the market's respecting. If I look at my updated daily candle, you can see some of the resistance that it's experiencing. We're a little flat line, but you can also see that with the body of this candle, where it closed, it kind of opened, right? In that same spot. And this is what we are. So it's like it's trying to push through. This is a new daily candle. But you notice that we really didn't pull back up into like where this body of this candle is. So there's an expectation for this to continue to drop. If I look over, you can definitely see like that little retest right there on the 4 hour. And it's trying, it hasn't really went anywhere. We're getting exhausted. So it might have to reset before it's going to begin to pull down. But this is a trade that played out exactly as we analyzed it. And it's actually very profitable. You know, like I said, I took my trade, I'm in my profit, trailing stop loss. Those are the things that you want to be able to do. Those are the things, you know, when we analyze these trades, you want to be able to take. So I don't have anybody else that took this trade. Anybody else? Because even if I look, let's put some Higanashi candles on it, right? From some Higanashi candles, for those of you all who did not take the trade, we did not take the trade. On my 4 hour, I have some Higanashi candles where we began to have confluency right there on my 4 hour. So from a top-down analysis approach, I know in the morning calls, you're beginning, you kind of start on the 15, analyze, take some trades, but I kind of like to start from the top. It's the exact same. Whether I start at the top, start at the bottom, you know, I like to look at my higher time frames first. And then I analyze for entry because I identify my zones. I identify those areas. And then, like I said, you know, we kind of analyze those areas, get those zones, and then I drop down for entry. So if I look at my 1 hour, right, I really wouldn't have liked this on the 1 hour So if I'd have moved this over just a little bit, you can see where we're starting to get that confluence. On my hour, I do like some body in my candle. This technically was confluence, but I like a little body in my candle, which is fine. You know, if you just understand where you are, because you had the 4 hour that was in alignment with it, right? So we had the 4 hour in here that was in alignment. Now, had my 4 hour been green at that time, I definitely wouldn't have considered keep going. But my 4 hour, that might have been okay. But I'm gonna push it over just a little bit, okay, just a little bit. And then as I drill, look. Then as I drill down to my 15, when I drill down to my 15, this is where you're looking, you know, hey, let me get that flat top candle, PSR flip. Notice our PSR kind of flip, but we didn't even get a flat top candle till here. You know, my momentum started with my stochastic, had already been there. Yes, I understand I'm at the bottom. But once again, once you begin to understand market structure, where you are in the market, you understand this is a momentum indicator. So when getting you started, we want you to kind of look for it around that top. But as you begin to understand market structure, you just want to make sure you're in alignment. And it did start, that blue line cross over the red and the downward momentum. And you have that. So if I look, and I'm looking for my first flat top candle, we're still in the downward. You're looking for that. I look at my hour, jump back up, because we had to make sure we had some confluence in there. I jump back up to my hour. My hour is definitely here. I look at my 4 hour. My 4 hour is there. Now all we're doing is making sure that 5 minute is in alignment, and you could actually enter the trade right then. All right. And that's ultimately where you could have entered the trade. And as you can see, that you would have been able to, you could have taken profit, you know, based on what you want. Were you letting it ride? Were you, you know, what were you doing? And if we look, I'm gonna come over here some, because I want to look at where we were yesterday, because I do want to kind of give you that other area from where we were yesterday. This is Monday at 9 o'clock. So I'm gonna put another arrow here where we were yesterday as well. So I'm gonna start about right there. That would have been your first one before our call. Okay, so here, now let's drop down. My 1 hour is definitely not there. I'm not gonna mess with that one. So here we are on that 4 hour. Look at my 1 hour, that was the 1 hour. Look at my 4 hour, right? We know we're in alignment. So now all you're doing is analyzing for entry. Drop down, and look how beautiful that is, right? Now, look at my stochastic, blue line cross over the red and the downward momentum. I need that red candle. Let me zoom in just a little bit so you can see it. I have a red candle with a flat top, PSR flip to the top, and you have a beautiful entry, right? Beautiful entry. And that would have really just brought you down to this area that we talked about. You being able to go to that zone area, and you can see the market still kind of tap dancing around there. Questions, comments, or testimonies? Because it's one thing to analyze a trade, it's another thing to say, how do I even take the trade? So once again, what you see on the morning call is this part of it only, for the most part. You know, they do the support and resistance, they do the trends, but I know they're not drilling out like where I'm at on the daily, that, you know, the weekly and those sorts of things, because they're different calls and they have different purposes. But it's the same concept. And so they've already done that heavy lifting behind the scenes to kind of walk you through. And that's why when I tell you, hey, you know, when I tell you, hey, my trades are in profit, you know, my accuracy rate is extremely high. And you're looking at your accuracy rate. If you're inconsistent, you want to start implementing these things. And you want to begin to do it in your demo account. You got to get in that demo account, and you have to do it. Like, you cannot not do it. Okay. You cannot not do it. It's just that simple. You cannot not do it. Are we trading in our demo account? At least, you know, you cannot not do it. You cannot not do it. All right. So here we are right here, you know, looking at my 4 hour and right. We're still in the downward momentum. That is a candle. Okay. You know, I have a little bit more body on that hour. When I start drilling down and dropping down, had you already, you know, it wasn't anything that was back there. My stochastic is in the upward momentum. So we're not getting in a trade. Do you see that? Right. So if I'm doing this for my top down analysis, I do have a 4 hour that is in a sale, right? Stochastic blue line cross down still. I do have a red candle. I don't like it very much, but I'm going to continue my analysis. So because remember, my 4 hour is more like a great confirmation because we already know where we are in the market and what we're doing, but I still don't like to trade against it. I like my hour and my 1 hour to be in alignment. Even though that's a red candle, you know, it's not my best friend. You know, it has a little bit more body on the Japanese candles, but it's just not something I'm very excited about. You see, I switched to my Hikinashi candles when I started analyzing for entry. All right, when I'm analyzing the market and I'm looking at it, I'm just Japanese candles, market structure, that's it. Start analyzing for entry, add that confirmation of the BYOB cash out. Drop down to my hour. Hour looks great, right? My hour looks great. But when we drop down to that 15, what is my non-negotiable? What's my non-negotiable? What is my non-negotiable? That's stochastic. No, I'm not doing that. So I'm not getting in a trade right now. I'm not getting in a trade right now. So exactly. Because even if we looked at the hour we were in before, right, with that 15, we never had confluence here. This is a non-negotiable. So, you know, I just got to where my hour and my 4 hour in confluence, but this is a non-negotiable. And no, ma'am, no, sir. And I don't like any of this. So then you wait. This is where that patience kicks in. So what you're doing is waiting on a proper alignment. So how many of you all would have forced that, feeling like, oh, it's going to sell, it's going to keep going, it's going to, right? How many of you all will force that? This, when you start understanding it, you can do things like as you pay attention and add a buy, not a buy, please, no, a sell stop, and you know what I mean? Things of that nature. So you can start doing, look, now it's pushing down some as we getting a little bit, but you can start doing things. No, it's not. I had to switch back to my Hikinashi. I stand corrected. But you can start doing things like doing sell stops and things because you see it lining up, but it's not quite there yet. It's not quite there. And that's stochastic. I don't like it. And so basically it's trying to get past this little zone right here. So if we put that on there, I'm looking for my rectangle. If we put that on there, kind of pay attention. It's trying to get past this little zone. So it's got some momentum that is kind of keeping it right there. Do you guys see that? All right. So you all are waiting on that. All right. Any questions, comments, or testimonies? Any? Questions, comments, testimonies? So we're good? All right. So let's see. Are you okay? Did anybody take this one? Did anybody take this? Because we talked about this too. We were up here. I'm not going to break down that same analysis because if we have time, I'll come back to it. But did anybody take this one? Because this is where we were yesterday at 9 o'clock. You see me looking at 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock yesterday. Okay, 9 o'clock. We were waiting, and when it went through, if we have time, I'll come back to it. But that's like an 86 pip move. So, and whether you got, even if you only got 10 or 50, you know, did anybody take profit or analyze this one? You guys gotta mark these charts up and take these trades. I love the fact that you show up every single day, but you have to mark these charts up. You have to mark these charts up. You have to mark these charts up. Who has a chart at least marked up? Who has a chart marked up? I'm gonna call on somebody. I'm gonna just randomly, I'm gonna just scroll and I'm gonna call somebody. I'm gonna put names in a hat and I'm gonna just start calling on people. Who has, are your chart? It's either yes or no. Let's have a transparent moment. Yes or no. When we mark these charts up, who marked their charts up? I should have a yes or no from everybody. Yes, okay. Yes. Yes. Okay, yes. I know I have some no's on here. whether it's today, yesterday, last week, right? So, okay, I gotta know. Thank you for your transparency. So I'm gonna ask the question, why do we not mark the chart up? To the ones that said no, why do we not mark the charts up or even try? And for the ones that said yes, why are we not taking a trade even if it's in our demo account? Because I'm noticing it's the same people that are taking the trades. Or some of you guys just don't communicate. And if you're not communicating, I can't help you. So tell me why we're not taking a trade. How can I help you? Because that's the purpose of this call. So you take some trades, just not the ones you mentioned, okay? Anyone else? I'm gonna get that Jeopardy music. Okay, okay, away. So what I want you all to do is in your demo account, have you all, it was one of the three you had marked up. Okay, awesome. So for those of you all, and this is why I'm asking that, and I'm so glad this was someone's answer. You were traveling, doctor's appointments, away from the charts, maybe at work. So my question to you all is, have you done your stop, your sell stops, buy stops, your alerts? Have you begun to do that? No, okay. You know how you're going to get comfortable with that? You do alerts, okay? You know how you're going to get comfortable with that? Is by doing it in your demo account. You haven't tried it. I want you all to try it. I really want you all to try it. But that's how you learn. That is how you learn. That's how you learn. So even if, the first time, because what you have to get comfortable with, like for example, like I drew this here, what I want everyone in your demo account, okay? In your demo account, I'm not telling you that, how it's going to play out, but I need for everybody in your demo account, everybody on this line to do a sales stop around this area. I need everybody to do a sales stop around this area. All right. And I want you to take profit somewhere around this blue line. I just want everybody to do it. And if it takes profit, I just want, because this is our last call for the week, I want you guys to just kind of drop it in, right? I just want you to drop it. If you do it, drop it in the Telegram when you take profit. I want you to go open your charts, open your trader, whatever broker you're using, Oanda, Eagle FX, whatever you're using, do a sales stop and do it a little bit, I don't want it to tap this and then pull back up on you. Do it just a tad bit below. If you want to grab this PSAR, one of the things you can do is kind of grab that PSAR right there, to kind of guide you. You see? Let's drop down a little bit. So you see that's kind of around the same area. If you want to use that PSAR, and do a sell stop. And that's at 1.73. You guys gonna make some money. You're gonna make this money. 738.894. Now, once again, this is not a signal, because I'm telling you now, get your demo account. You have to practice it. You had to learn how to color. This is kind of like, we understand the analysis, but how do I learn really where to put it? Kind of thing about learning how to color in the lines, right? How do I learn how to color in the lines? Well, you got to practice. You have to color. You have to do it. That's how you're gonna understand, like, because the question, well, I don't know where to put the sell stop. Well, I don't know where to put the thing. I don't know. I'm gonna move this up just a little bit, just for so give you guys a little bit of actually, I want to give you guys just a little bit of cushion. You have to do it. So you're gonna try it. Thank you. And and once again, hey, you're not looking at that. Hey, we're put my stop loss above that PSAR. So we're gonna do something a little bit different. So your goal is gonna be 1.73. Awesome. Let's do it. 735. 735.79. All right, so we're gonna put that about right here. I'm put on this side because I know the market not gonna go back a little bit. And because we know, well, we don't want our stop loss, okay? This is where you guys have to get comfortable with your leverage sizes, because remember, you trade, willing to understand what you don't want to lose, right? So that's half. Up to here is half, but you know that the market could come back and tap this, and so you don't really want to stop loss way up here. But for the sake of learning, I don't want you to put a stop loss like right there, because the market could come back and tap this. So just put it up here somewhere for the sake of learning, okay? I just want you, because I need you guys to understand your leverage, your lot sizes, because if you know that this goal, we're doing this so I could get you guys comfortable with this, because I don't like coming and be like, I didn't take it, but I see it. No, put it in there, take the trade. We're in a demo account, so we can learn. We can learn this a little bit. We can take this trade together a little bit. These are things that we can do. So that's what I need you to do. Put it in there. Okay? And I'm gonna let you set your own stop loss, because I need you to learn that, but you need to set one. Don't not set one. So I only have two. Everybody that's on this call, I only have 2 people that are gonna try it. Who else is gonna try it? It's not gonna hurt you in your demo. All right. Okay, there we go. I love it. Trying it, okay. And just, when you open it, you should see like the sales stop, right? And if you're in the Oanda, because I know they teach you the different brokers. If you're in the Oanda, you have to open, and then you'll see the sales stop. Okay. So it'll just say stop, or I think. And so you got it's a sales stop. Now, why is it a sales stop? I have no earthly idea. Why is it a sales stop? I have no earthly idea. None. Because it doesn't make sense to me. Because stop normally means stop, not go. But right now, stop means go. That makes sense. So, yeah. Don't know. Don't try to figure it out. Don't try to rationalize it. When I was studying for my licenses, literally, I didn't understand it until I started trading. I was like, this mean this, that, stop, limit, like, yeah, it was everywhere. But when you start doing it now, it's like, oh no, it's a stop. But it should be a sell go, but it's not. Maybe that'll help you remember. All right. Let's see. Which one do I want to see? AUD. Before questions, comments, testimonies. Any? So we have at least half of you all going to do it, and the other half is just not going to tell me. And that's okay. Or you're just not going to do it, and that's okay. So let's see. Let's go here. No questions, no comments. So I'm telling you, you get that confidence up, boy. You get that confidence up. Let me see. I'm gonna see based on time which one I want. I think it's gonna all right, so you're welcome. Where are the recordings? So this one I'm gonna have to push out to you guys. I am recording today's because I was asked about the recordings and I didn't record these classes. So I am going to push this out to you all. But next week, you know, I'll show you the BYOB live before we get off of here, because we'll be on BYOB live starting Sunday. All right. And I'm going to talk about that as we close the call. So if I'm on my higher time frame, okay, I'm at AUD-CAD. So I'm on AUD-CAD. So what we're looking at, okay, on this one, I'm on my daily. And what we know, this is, you're welcome. Most of, okay. And they help a lot because you don't have to sit in front of the computer. When I learned that, I was like, oh, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus, right? That's what I was. So what I'm looking at is, you know, the market. Let's look at this, okay? So here we go. Let's come up on my higher time frame. Let's understand where we are before I even do this. I don't want anybody. Let it come to you. All right, so where we are on this, okay? So here I am, I'm up a little bit, I'm on my weekly. And what you can see is that this is a heavy area, right, of resistance. Now this, obviously, we don't want 2020, 2019, 2020. It was the beginning of the year. That's kind of when this spike happened and it stayed down there long. So we understand that's unprecedented, okay? This was the end of last year. So we're going to come out just a little bit and you can see that there is, let's take a look. As we look at the market, right, I got some area right here where the market is, you know, we look at it and you can see where it did not really finish that downward trend. It broke back up above that trend line. When I drop down to my daily, okay, when I drop down to my daily, you can kind of see that same thing. Now, what I'm also going to kind of focus on, I'm not going to put a channel on here. I could, but I'm not. Well, maybe. I want you guys to see it. You know, let's get consistent with it. If I put that on there and then I clone it again, get you that mid, you know, let's get some consistency. Because at first I was like, we don't really need it. And can I get this thing in the middle? Once again, I remember when I was like, can I even draw a trend line? So, but now I can. All right, so you notice that once again, the market respects the midpoint of it, but once again, buyers and sellers, not gonna get into that. So as you can see, it already broke that trend line, but I wanted you to see, I just wanted you to see how the market respects that, okay? I just wanted you to see that. Now, you also see the market is actually, let's look at how we have the zone right there, right? It rejected. So we kind of have like a trend. And let's honestly look at where we are, right? What do we buy? What I want to do is help you understand. Somebody tell me what is right in this area. What is right in this area? What is this? Light blue is what? I'm about to go download Jeopardy. There we go. Psych. Be like that Jeopardy music. All right. So we see the market has definitely rejected and respected this psych level, right? And if we look over, you can definitely see once again, it broke there. That was 20. It broke over here and it kind of came back up and now it's respecting it. So what we are is between some zones. So if I look, this is an area the market needs to try to come above too. So if I'm looking right here, this is a psych level. The market has kind of spiked up and down just a little bit. It's been a heavy rejection. So what we actually have is a sideways moving market. So we don't have a market that we don't have a market that has a direction at this point, right? We don't have a market that has a direction. And the correlation, do I even have it on here? The correlation is oil is giving a positive signal. Now CAD and oil have a high correlation. So it's giving a positive signal. But so when I'm looking at this, basically we're not breaking here. We're at this psych level. We're looking here. So it's a possibility. Now, am I excited about doing anything right now from a trade? We're oversold, right? We pushed through it just a little bit, but that's not a true break. So, you know, we have to have that. We will have to have that retest. So when I look though, I'm oversold. So my sellers are getting exhausted. And, you know, and that's what happened over here. We were oversold and then the market pulled back up. So, and you can always see your patterns inside of your patterns. So even though it's not beautiful, because we had heavy rejection here, the market rejected here, the same things are happening down here, pushed through the cycle level a little bit, but we still have this zone that's right there below it. So all of this, you want to pay attention. And that's kind of like why I wanted to, you know, kind of show you a trade from the perspective that's not really in a trend, right? But technically this one, and I just want you to watch it because I want you to pay attention. If you have a trading opportunity when it aligns, then of course you take it, but don't just jump in it, because I want you to understand the reason why I wanted to show you this one is you still have, because you asked me a lot about some of these things when we're looking at it. So, right, as we started coming down on this one, right, we started creating those lower highs, and it appears that we're in there, but when we created this lower high, right, you see how sometimes I talk about how the market does not, it didn't create, it created a low here, right? So you got your low, it created another low, right? Created a low, but it's kind of went sideways. It did not create another high. So technically the market has not turned around yet. And it could, and if it comes down, then it's another low. So this is one of those, this is why you talk about indecisive or some consolidation or things. But once again, I'm on my daily. So, I mean, you're talking about 80 pips in between here. So, you know, you're in there. So it did not create, it's exactly the same. It's exactly the same. It's exactly the same. So it did not shift the pattern. Sometimes you get, I call it raggedy movement, but sometimes you get that. It does not mean that we're no longer in a, it does not mean that we're no longer in a sell in this moment. Right? It does not mean that the market is not still the market is still technically bearish. It's just moving sideways. We will have to break this and get up here for us to have a shift. That makes sense? So what you do know is if you end up taking anything that's a buy right here, you're still in a bearish market. Does that make sense? Five. I wanted to give you a live example of that because we talk about it all the time, but we haven't been in an active one. And I wanted to give you like an active, kind of see that active. Let me see. Do we have time? I had another one I looked at. So we have time. Do we have time? Any questions, comments, or testimonies? So literally that's where we are. All right, any questions, comments, or testimonies, guys? Any? All right, well, I think I'm end it right here. I just looked at what time it was. Because I know I had, let me see. Let me go back to my AUD. So when you're looking at this, right? So it will have to break through, like, you know, it will have to. And let me see. Yeah, I'm not, it's like, I wouldn't go any higher than this for a take profit if this thing does. Actually, let me get back on the traditional candles. I'm analyzing it from there. You see the rejection. You can see the rejection, but it hasn't moved back up and you can see what's happening. All right. Any questions, comments, or testimonies? I like to look at these candles, the Japanese candles, when I'm looking at how it's reacting, the liquidity, what the market's doing. Any questions, comments, or testimonies, guys? Any before we close out? We looked at a few currency pairs. I just want to make sure that you guys understand what you're looking for. You know, you can properly analyze it. Yeah. And do we have our sales stop in? Do we have our sales stop in? You see why we didn't just do it? You want that sales stop in. It's still, alrighty. Well, that's all I have. Well, before we close out, I do want to go back over because I want to make sure you guys understand. So as we're looking, you can definitely see, I want you to come to your BYOB Live. Awesome, you're gonna rewatch. Awesome. I want you guys to come to your BYOB Live. And I want you to check your classes, okay? And thank you for those who have sent in. So you want to check your BYOB Live classes, and you want to make sure that you're in this based on your subscription and your enrollment. Come Sunday, this is where you're going to be on Sunday, okay? You're going to be here on Sunday. And I mean, just like Sunday is 5 p.m., which, you know, obviously we have the UTC time. And so if I wanted to view that, I know once we go on live, this is where your recordings are, right? Once we get to live, like it's gonna tell me there are no recordings available right now. So, but let me just show you how you'd enter that. So if I clicked enter, it's gonna tell me I'm gonna skip this step right here, and it's gonna tell me it's not live yet. So I still have 5 days and 6 hours and 29 minutes and 25 seconds, right? So it's not live yet, but this is where you're gonna go and join that live, right? That's ultimately where we're gonna be. You want to make sure of that, you know, your success steps are here. So when I'm looking at my affiliates and customers, this is that getting started, help you understand our affiliate program, getting started our affiliate program, your welcome packet, and also Sunday night. This is how you're going to access Sunday night. So I would suggest you get enrolled. You're trying to find out what a PIP is, that you will begin that education in the academy, and then they will expound on it on Sunday. So if you are not enrolled, we won't. Yeah, I know that our training will not be available to those who are not enrolled. In order to access our training, starting Sunday, it will not be a Zoom call. It will not be on YouTube. It will not be any of there. So you have to get enrolled, and then you'll start going through the academy, and you'll join them, because that's part of that very basics training. That's not, you know, we're not going to discuss PIP counts and things like that on this call. But you definitely want to make sure, this is more of an advanced call, but you definitely want to make sure that you join that beginner's call, but you have to get enrolled before Sunday in order to access that training, because you will not be able to access it if you're not enrolled. Okay. And then of course, our networks is our trading academy, you know, the credit restoration, the business credit, the business credit restoration, your real estate investing courses, all of those things are on this site. And you want to, once again, this is another link. Now I'm telling you now, this is no fee associated with it because you're already enrolled, but you still, it's a different website, right? It's a completely different website. So you have to come enroll here too. But as you can see, free, because you're already a part of the movement, and you want to join us for your affiliate success on Sunday night at 8 p.m. Okay. But you need to come register for a account. Okay. Now I'm going to tell you the call that's on Sunday at 5 p.m. being that a basics question, you know, getting started, understanding. I'm going to tell you the purpose behind this call and the excitement I have behind this call. That call on Sunday, hands down, I commend them. That is the best of the best of the best. When I was learning how to trade, I wish there was a call like this. I wish it was a call, because it's the bridge that gap from it's really the bridge that gap from you getting started to, you know, you beginning your implementation. And it is slow paced, it is hands-on, it is deliberate, and they are phenomenal. You know, I will put them up against anybody. They are phenomenal. And it's a collective group of educators that just want you to succeed. Literally, that's all they're there for. And they enjoy it. And it's so much passion behind their teaching, you know, and so much excitement when you win. So you definitely want to make sure that you show up to that Sunday class. Don't bypass it. Don't feel like you know enough already. Don't feel like you got it. Don't feel like anything. And you can't get everything in one session. And they literally have a 8-week cycle that is going to rotate again. So it's just like every 8 weeks they're starting over, but it's continuous and it's good, you know, and you want to be a part of that. Also today on our YouTube channel and our Facebook page at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you want to make sure that you join us for our Wealth Talks, right? You want to make sure you join us for Wealth Talks, always a guest on. You definitely want to make sure that you are there for that. And then today at 7:30 p.m. is our, you know, especially if you're not familiar, you don't know, you want to get registered for our wealth overview and bring someone with you. This information is powerful. It is life-changing. Get registered, show up to the wealth overview. That is tonight at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, guys. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to close out this call. And before I do so, are there any questions, comments, or testimonies from anybody on the line? Nope, nobody? So, all right, well, I will see you today at 5 p.m. This is a Power Pack Tuesday. See you at 7:30, and then we'll see you again at 5:30 in the morning. All right, guys. So in Thursday, we have a 5:30 and a 9 p.m., not 9:30, 9 p.m., 5:30 a.m. and 5:30 a.m. and a 9 o'clock p.m. Of course, you know, you want to be on this class, you know, it doesn't even matter. I'm going to tell you, I'm glad you did. And I'm going to comment on that before I go, because I was about to hit end, but you want to be on that because you want to be on the classes and the calls, because regardless of where you are and regardless of, you know, your skill set level, it's kind of like being in the environment so you can begin to absorb and the things will begin to make sense and they're going to start clicking. And I think that's a big part of what helped me, you know, when I got started. I'm going to try to get this recording today. So it's a big part. It's a big part. Exactly. Because you're not going to get it on the first go round. And this is a skill set. It is not a get rich quick. It is not the lottery. You develop this skill set, you're going to be like, oh my goodness, and be so excited about the things that you're learning, right? So excited about the things that you are learning. You are learning. And the lifestyle change that it'll give you. And, you know, just my small testimony, which is not really mine, but it's my child's, you know, he was working and just to pass the time, but he wanted to move to the Orlando area. And he, you know, he talked about it, he planned for it, and he made a decision. That's what he wanted to do. But then his job wouldn't transfer. It didn't matter. He still got up and he moved. And he's creating his life and he's carving it out in the world. But where do you think his money comes from? Because he's not just in Orlando, he's in the thick of things in Kissimmee, you know, and you know, I want you, where do you think his money comes from? This 22 years old and doesn't have to be tied down to somebody dictating his life, and he gets to live life on his terms. And, you know, this is, you know, he gets to live life on his terms, and that's what it is, right? That's where it's at. So, all right. So, with that, we're gonna close out. So you know, you get to do that. So, all right, guys. So that's that, and love you guys, and try to transition, and I will see you all this evening.